meeting for September 16th to order. And ask Deb to call the roll.
Charles Prevey,
Here.
John Proctor,
Here.
Murphy,
Who?
Murphy,
Here.
Sharon Miller,
Here.
Here.
Marie Pino,
Here.
Eric Treaster, Tony Capon,
I'm here.
Kyle Felice, CEO.
Here.
So everybody's here. Okay, so it's going to be Eric, Charlie, Sharon, Rich, Eric, Charlie, Sharon, Rich, and myself will be the 5 voting members, and Marie and Tony are the alternates. Okay. This is a continuation for the ZBA application number 595, 13 River Drive, Gales Ferry, Connecticut. The applicant property owners are David and Amy Harnd for a 7-foot variance to the required 16-foot side yard setbacks for a new addition to their home. The first exhibit can we pull that up there, Deb?
You already read to the record.
All right, yeah. Okay, the application is continued from last month based on Eric raising a question about having to add section 13.1A2 and 13.1B2, non-conforming uses, structures, and property. I have a memorandum dated July 27, 2020, to me, John Proctor, the chairman, the ZBA, from Liz Burdick, director of land use and planning, in reference to this application. And it says, "Dear Mr. Chairman Proctor, it has come to my attention that the Ledger Zoning Board of Appeals, ZBA, during the public hearing for the above referenced application at its July 15th, 2020 regular meeting, voted to continue the public hearing in order to amend the application to include requests for a variance of sections 13.1.A2 plus 13.1.B2 parentheses F, non-conforming uses, structures, and property. Be advised that said regulations regarding non-conformity do not need to be varied. Section 13.1 speaks to non-conforming uses, structures, and property, and the regulations that govern same. However, Ledger zoning regulations, section 15.1, zoning board of appeals, in accordance with Connecticut General Statute 8-6, permits the ZBA to determine and vary the application of the zoning bylaws, ordinance, or regulations in harmony with their general purpose and intent, with due consideration for considering the public health, safety, convenience, welfare, and property values solely with respect to a parcel of land. Therefore, owing to conditions especially affecting such partial but not affecting generally the district in which it is situated, a literal enforcement of such bylaws, ordinances, or regulations would result in exceptional difficulty or unusual hardship, so that substantial justice will be done and the public safety and welfare secured. And what they're saying is, then she says, should the ZBA make a finding of legitimate, exceptional difficulty or unusual hardship and grant the variance for the requested 18 by 24 addition, it would make it conforming by variance, just as the 2002 granting of the setback variance made the 12 by 13 addition conforming by variance structure. If you have any other questions, contact me. Thank you. I'll put that into the record. Okay, okay, here. Then I have a memorandum for the record application 959 from the ZBA, and that's prepared by Kyle. I believe we already read this into the record, didn't we, Deb?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, David, you asked for the continuance from the last meeting. And one of the things that you wanted to do is provide us some more information or state your case again.
Yes. Would you like me to go ahead and do that now?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Just as an initial note, a friend of mine has been involved in zoning issues in his past quite a bit, and when he looked at our application, he understood why there was some pushback when it came to the hardship section. His advice to us was, you folks put details about how you get a hardship approved right into the application. And so in his advice, we needed to talk to that so that, in essence, we make it easy for you to make a decision. And in his opinion, we did not do that in our initial application. So my wife and I wanted to just say thank you for letting us, add to our case. So we made a few notes that we'll just talk to. So here we go. So in our opinion, a literal enforcement of the existing regulations would make it realistically impossible to build the desired addition onto our home. No reasonable alternate location exists which could allow us to create this additional space without exceptional difficulty or unnecessary hardship. The difficulties are the result of the orientation of the structure, the shape of the lot, and the placement of the septic system. These difficulties are unique to a property such as ours, and they do not affect all property in the zoning district. All of the difficulties just mentioned were present prior to our purchase of the property. Therefore, they were not caused by any act on our part. We feel that the variance would be in harmony with the general purpose and intent of the zoning regulations and would not be granted at the expense of public health, safety, convenience, welfare, or property values. And quite the contrary, the requested variance would result in a nicer home and enhancing not only our property, but the neighborhood as a whole. We feel that the granting of this variance would result in substantial justice, and we are not claiming a hardship due to medical reasons, family size, or financial hardship, nor is our hardship self-created or due to any reckless conduct on our part. So in summary, the addition we're attempting to put on our house is a perfectly reasonable use for the property. It will create a nicer house that really makes sense for this beautiful lot. There is sufficient land to create the proposed addition, and we would not be before the Board of Appeals were it not for the placement and orientation of the structure, the shape of the lot, and the placement of the septic system, all of which occurred before we purchased the property. The fact that this is the right thing to do for the property is evidenced by the support we've received from both neighbors, both of whom we've known for less than a year, one of whom we've never even met, and therefore their support of our request has no bias. The board, as we understand it, was created for just this sort of circumstance, and we feel that a literal enforcement of the regulations would result in a substantial injustice to my wife and I and a disservice to our community as a whole. So that's our case.
All right, thank you very much, Dave.
Thank you.
The members of the board, let me start from the first one I see here. Charlie, do you have any questions for the gentleman? Your speaker's not coming through, Charlie.
So your addition is just extending the length of your house, but it's still inset from the current footprint. I have seen that correctly on this drawing?
Correct. It's inset just slightly from the existing house.
And that dimension or length is what?
1 foot.
Yes, the existing house is about 8 feet from the property line. The addition would be 9 feet at its closest.
Okay, so inset about a foot from the existing structure. Okay,
Correct.
all right. That's all. That's all I have, John.
Okay. Sharon, you have
I
any
have
questions?
no questions. I have none.
Okay. Eric?
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, no problem there. All right, let me go to Rich. You have any questions for the gentleman?
No, I appreciate the applicant's reading of the zoning regulations and his very astute explanation of why his property he feels is a good one for an application. I really have no more questions. No, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, seeing if there's no more questions, and Dave, you have no more input, I should adjourn the public meeting on application 959, right? Yeah, 959. All right. So, Dave, you and your wife can sit there and listen, but you can't say anything.
Okay. That's going to be easier for me, John.
That's once we go to the regular meeting, the applicant's not allowed to give us any input. We have to go based on everything that was in the public meeting. That's why I say you can't give us any input. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to mute my microphone.
All righty. I need a motion.
I'll move that. This is Eric. I'll move that we. Oh, are you in the regular meeting now? Yes. I move that we approve. I move that we approve the application.
Before we go that, I got to open the regular meeting.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to open the regular meeting for September 16th. And it's 6:44. Deb, if you call the roll call.
Charles Freedy,
Present.
John Proctor,
Here.
Here.
Sharon Peeler,
Here,
Marie Pedro,
here,
Eric Treester,
Here.
Tony Capon,
Here.
All right, all members are present and accounted for. Everybody's a voting member except for Marie and Tony. Do I hear a motion for application 959?
I move that we approve application 959.
I second it.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say about it?
This is an interesting application. The key thing that makes it interesting is the house was originally created in, I believe it was 1938, and the variance that was previously granted to modernize the house is to make a reasonable use of the house, and I believe that the proposed addition that we're considering this evening falls in the same category. It's something to make a more reasonable use, a more modern, a more reasonable use, a more improvement of the house. And because of its original situation of pre-existing, I think it's an appropriate thing. The hardship's a little dicey. Technically, the fact that you cannot use property the way you want to use it constitutes a hardship. However, in this particular case, I believe that the proposed addition will be virtually invisible from the street. It's consistent with the variance that was, and I think it would be fair to the applicant and to the town that we approve this application. So I'm in favor of this application.
Okay. Thank you, Eric. Is there anybody else that would like to make a comment? No? Well, I'm going to make the comment that, Eric, I think you nailed it right on the head. It is based on the fact that the house is that old, the property lines that were set up when it was created and everything else like this, that this is staying within the guidelines and the intent of the Zoning Board of Appeals to allow a person to improve his property and the house adequately. So not hearing no more comments and this, that, and whatever, the motion is put up for a vote. And we're going to vote by roll call. Dad, would you call the roll?
Giles Freeby,
I vote yes.
John Proctor,
I vote yes.
Rich Murphy,
Yes.
Sharon Peeler,
She doesn't have a vote.
Yes, I do.
Well,
Sharon,
oh, Sharon, I'm sorry. Wrong person.
On.
Sorry, Sharon. Yes, you're one of the voting members. I'm sorry.
Yes, I am.
And your vote is?
Yes, I approve.
Eric Treaster,
I vote yes.
So, John, you were trying to disenfranchise the woman, right? Is that what that was? I'm sorry.
That's what he was trying to do, Tony.
I couldn't help that. I'm sorry.
All voting members have approved the motion. Therefore, application for variance 959 is approved. Dave? I guess that was you clapping, Dave.
Yes, thank
All right.
you.
You should see Deb in about 10 or 15 days, right, Deb?
there's going to be an ad in the newspaper probably next week, not this week.
Okay. You see her in 10 to 15 days and she'll
Yeah,
get you your approved application.
right. We'll be mailing the certificates out.
Okay.
Then they'll have to go into the town hall and file it with the clerk.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much
Yes.
for working with us on this.
Yeah, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
All right. Well, don't have too many heartaches and headaches when you do the addition.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Yeah.
The next thing we have is the approval of the minutes for the ZBA regular and public hearing for August 19th, 2020. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from August 19th of 2020.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
A second? Oh, Rich is seconding. I can see him waving.
Yep. Oh, I'm sorry.
Right. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay. Motion's been passed and approved. The meeting minutes for August 19th are approved. I have no old business or new business. Anybody have any announcements they'd like to make or anything? Nope. Then I am going to, do I hear a motion to adjourn? Somebody raise your hand. Tell me you want to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
All right, motion's been made to adjourn. Therefore, I am going to adjourn the meeting for September 16th. Meeting's being adjourned at 6:51. I want to thank everybody for being here. I know it's been a pain in the butt sometimes to get this stuff done, but I really appreciate it. Folks, take it easy and have a good.
Quick question for Deb. Is there anything on the horizon for next month?
The best I know, we have nothing for next month, do we?
No, I don't see anything.
We'll try and let you know if anything shows up.
Very good.
Thanks a lot, guys, ladies, gentlemen.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe, everybody.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.